Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? Well, tonight, the NFL is going to release the full 2024 schedule. They've been dropping little breadcrumbs along the path here these past few days. And with the NFL schedule set to be released tonight, there are always leaks. And as we sit here at 3:04 p.m. Central Time and the full schedule not to be released for another 4 hours or so, you better believe we already got the entire thing. So we'll run through it, and I'll give you some of my takeaways. Muse, give me some NFL schedule leak takeaway music. I like that one. Prime time.
Well, no, you can't do the voice for NFL primetime.
No, that was Boomer.
Okay.
That wasn't John Facenda.
Okay. They sounded similar, I'm not going to lie.
Well, that's because I can't go to the depths of the baritone voice that John Facenda does. Yeah. It was like Boomer trying to imitate John Facenda.
All right.
Me imitating Boomer, imitating John Facenda is what that was.
Love it.
This was caffeine-free Diet Coke is what this was.
Okay.
You know what I mean? There's Coke.
Yeah.
And then, like, Boomer would have been Diet Coke.
Yeah.
And then I'm caffeine-free Diet Coke, imitating Boomer, imitating John Facenda. Make sense?
Yeah.
Got it. Let's go. Okay, Saints. By the way, hat tip to John Hendricks. I know there's a lot of people who have had a lot of the leaks. John is the one who I saw over at Saints News Network compile everything all in one. So I'll give the hat tip to John Hendricks here. And to those who also had it, my apologies if I missed you here. So let's start it off here. Week 1, the Saints are going to open up in the Dome September the 8th against the Carolina Panthers. I love that. Panthers will likely be the worst team in the NFL again, and so you get an opportunity to open up your season with a win. Then week 2, you're on the road at the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not sure how I feel about that in total. Cowboys are a really good team, obviously. You got a good quarterback in Dak. It's an early season road game, and then followed up by a home game against Philly. It's very likely, I think, the Saints open up the season at 1-2. Any disagreement there?
No disagreement.
All right, then you're at Atlanta. So you're home, road, but you go at Atlanta, so it'll be the Kirk Cousins, Derek Carr duel there in week 4. And I think that's going to be pretty symbolic of how the division's going to go. Yes, Tampa is the reigning division champion. However, all of the odds right now are on Atlanta to win the division. And I think the Saints and Atlanta each having tied for the easiest schedule in the NFL. That head-to-head matchup there in Atlanta is going to be pivotal because I think the Saints will have a great chance to win the one in the Dome. More on that here in just a little bit. The first real big spot on the schedule comes week 5, October the 7th, Monday Night Football, the Saints at the defending champion Chiefs. One of the things we always talk about with schedules, not just who you play, but when and where you play them. That matters. And obviously, we watched a playoff game in Kansas City this year where Patrick Mahomes' helmet quite literally cracked in half. Well, not in half, but there was like a big chunk of it that froze and broke off when he got hit. So if you get to play October the 7th at Arrowhead, and yes, Monday Night Football, prime time, it'll be a lubed up crowd, I'd rather October 7th than the end of December. Put it to you that way. Saints come home for a couple of games, Bucks, and then the short week, I always look at where their Thursday Night Football game is, and this is one of those NFL execs. My goodness, do they know how to schedule them. They have the Saints taking on the Denver Broncos at home October the 17th, week 7. And, of course, that means Sean Payton returning to the Dome. So it'll be a short week, but you're at home on a short week. We've gone through the numbers over the years. Teams that travel on Thursday night on the short week are at a decided disadvantage. So for the Saints, they're at home on Thursday Night Football, and that'll be the return of Sean Payton in the Dome. Then it's back-to-back road games. Notice I haven't gotten to the bye yet, and that's a little sticking point that I have with this schedule. You're at the Chargers, so you'll go see Jim Harbaugh out at SoFi in the Chargers, and then you go back across the country to Carolina. I hate that spot. Cross-country travel in consecutive weeks is brutal. To go from New Orleans all the way out to L.A. Now, the good news there is you play Thursday night the week before, so you have a little mini bye there from Thursday before you go to the Chargers. But you fly to L.A., then you'll fly home, then you'll fly to Carolina, fly home again before you get a couple of home games against the Falcons, the Browns, and then finally, November 24th, Week 12 is your bye. There's always this conundrum. Where do you want the bye to fall? And ideally, it's not so late in the season that it's not even really worth it, and it's not so early in the season that you end up playing a dozen consecutive weeks of football. But that's what the Saints are facing. They're going to end up playing 11 consecutive weeks before they get the bye in Week 12. It's not the best spot on the schedule, but it's also not the worst spot on the schedule. I still would rather have it well before Thanksgiving, but that's where the bye falls there on November the 12th. Calendar flips to December, and the Saints will step out of the division home against the Rams. Then they're at the Giants on December 8th. You have a possibility of that being a cold weather game. Back home against the Commanders, so Jaden Daniels will come to the Dome in his rookie season. And then the other one that you'd probably circle is this stretch right here. Week 16, the Saints are at Green Bay on Monday Night Football. December 23rd on the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. How was it, Muse?
That was good. Better.
What if I hold, the
New Orleans Saints will travel to Green Bay to take on the Packers at the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field.
Yeah, it muffles it a little bit, makes it deeper. Yeah. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
We get a little bit of the reverb when you cut the mic. That's what you get. So that sucks. It's going to be freezing. The only thing that gives me any confidence there is the fact that a couple of years ago, the Saints went to Philly and to Cleveland in consecutive weeks in cold weather games. Now, you faced Cleveland without Deshaun Watson, but if you remember that game, it was single-digit temps, and the Saints won it 13-10 or something like that. It was a miserable football game, but they did go on the road and win. How effective is Jordan Love? Year 2 as a full-time starter. We'll see all that stuff. But the Saints, week 16, Monday Night Football at the Packers. Short week, you come home to take on the Raiders. So Derek Carr will face his former team in the Dome, and then you finish up Week 18 at Tampa against the Bucs. So just a few of my takeaways overall. Opening up against Carolina, I like that. You get a chance for a win. Monday Night Football at Kansas City. I like that it's early in the season. Never going to be easy to go play at Lambeau. Hate that it's primetime, but I'd rather it early in the season. Sean Payton coming to the Dome on Thursday Night Football. Your bye's all the way in Week 12. And then that sequence there late in the season where Week 15, Jaden Daniels comes to the Dome. Week 16, you're at the Packers on December 23rd. It's going to be freezing. Short week, you're home against the Raiders and Derek Carr's former team. And then, who knows, maybe Week 18, a game for the division with the Saints at Tampa. Muse, you got any takeaways? Anything stand out?
The Sean Payton thing's obviously interesting. You mentioned the spot on the schedule. I was actually surprised they put that on a Thursday night. I thought that might have been one of the potential Monday night spots for that game. Just Thursday Night Football is not normally pretty, and I figured they would really want a huge stage for that. So I
think that's a bigger deal here than it is nationally.
That's fair.
I don't think the rest of the league actually cares about Sean Payton coming back to New Orleans. I mean, obviously it's a thing, which is why they put it in one of the primetime slots, but it doesn't even come close to, say, if Aaron Rodgers were playing the Packers, when Tom Brady went back and played in New England for the first time. I think there's some of those that are going to garner more attention, but Sean Payton is a Super Bowl winning coach, and it was a big deal when he came out of retirement. I just don't know that that's the game. Like, that'll be the storyline, but I don't know that that's the game that they're looking at. I mean, who's going to play? I mean, is Bo Nix going to be the starting for Denver? That's going to be a hideous football game no matter where you play it.
That's fair. The other thing would be it feels pretty front-loaded. I mean, Cowboys, Eagles, Falcons, Chiefs, Bucks all in a row in the first 6 weeks of the season. I mean, that could go bad. Like, that could go very bad for them.
And after Thursday Night Football, you got to go. I mentioned then that's where you have the spot where it's back-to-back cross-country, where you go Chargers, Panthers. So it does lighten up late, with the exception of having to go to Green Bay there, Week 16. But you're right. I mean, it is a front-loaded schedule there, and Week 12 bye is not really a great spot for the bye. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.